So here's the thing, Spider-Man suddenly turns into a snake. Maybe he's just tired of sticking to walls all the time, so he decided to slither on the ground, but with a slicker style. Who knows, maybe he's looking for a new web, not between buildings, but between trees. And hey, after becoming a snake, he could totally become Snake Man with the superpower of wrapping up enemies. Captain America is having a bad day when he suddenly gets turned into a snake. I mean, what's he gonna do now? Throw his shield and make it bounce off a few trees? Maybe he'll use his super slither skills to sneak past enemies. Who knew that Star-Spangled Avenger could become the Scale-Spangled Defender? Hulk suddenly turns into a snake. Now, instead of yelling, "Hulk smash," he's slithering around hissing, hiss. Hulk smash. Imagine how confused his enemies would be, should they run away or laugh first. But be careful, if he gets angry, he might turn into a giant snake and squeeze the whole city. Thor suddenly turns into a snake. Instead of swinging Mjolnir, he's now coiling around its handle, hissing, hiss. I am worthy. Imagine Odin seeing this, he'd have a serious headache. But don't underestimate Snake Thor. If he can still summon lightning, get ready for the hissers of thunder. Iron Man suddenly turns into a snake. Now, instead of flying around in his high-tech suit, he's slithering on the ground, hissing, I am Stark. Jarvis must be confused, sir, how will you wear the suit if you don't have hands? But don't underestimate him, if anyone tries anything, he might still fire a laser from his mouth. Beware of the snake repulsor. Superman suddenly turns into a snake. Now, instead of soaring through the sky with his cape, he's slithering on the ground, hissing, Superman to the rescue. Lois Lane must be confused, Clark, why are you so slippery? But don't underestimate Snake Superman, he still has heat vision and can constrict stronger than any Kryptonian. Watch out, Lex Luthor. Now he can't just fly, he can sneak up on you too. Ant-Man suddenly turns into a snake. Now, instead of shrinking and growing at will, he's slithering around hissing, hiss. It's snake time. The Avengers must be confused, Scott, weren't you supposed to be an ant? Why are you a reptile now? But don't underestimate him, if he can still shrink, imagine a tiny snake sneaking anywhere and suddenly growing huge. Instant panic with the giant snake attack. Captain Marvel suddenly turns into a snake. Now, instead of soaring through the galaxy, she's slithering on the floor, hissing, hiss, higher, further, faster. Nick Fury must be speechless, we needed Captain Marvel, not Captain Snake. But don't underestimate Snake Marvel, if she can still absorb energy, imagine a glowing snake blasting enemies with a photon strike. Doctor Strange suddenly turns into a snake. Now, instead of opening portals with his hands, he's drawing circles in the air with his tail, hissing, by the hiss of Hoggoth. Wong must be facepalming, Master, how are you supposed to wear the cloak if you don't have shoulders? But don't underestimate Snake Strange, if he can still control magic, get ready to see glowing portals with the words, Welcome to the Sorcerer's Realm. Black Panther suddenly turns into a snake. Now, instead of leaping gracefully through Wakanda, he's slithering on the ground, hissing, Wakanda forever. Hiss. Shuri must be shocked, brother, how are you supposed to wear the vibranium suit if you don't have legs? But don't underestimate Snake Panther, if he still has super reflexes and vibranium claws, get ready for the fastest snake ever, striking with the slash of Wakanda. Vision suddenly turns into a snake. Now, instead of floating gracefully, he's slithering on the floor, hissing, I am inevitable. Hiss. Wanda must be shocked, you can phase through walls, but now you're just sneaking under doors. But don't underestimate Snake Vision, if he still has the Mind Stone, imagine a snake with a laser on its forehead. Get ready for the Hisfinity Beam. Batman suddenly turns into a snake. Now, instead of leaping from building to building, he's slithering in the shadows, hissing, I am the hiss. I am the night. Alfred must be confused, Master Wayne, how are you supposed to wear your utility belt if you don't have a waist? But don't underestimate Snake Batman, he can still disappear into the shadows and strike suddenly with a silent strike.